Hello, I'm John with Roadkill Incorporated. So, a few days ago, a friend of mine and I were messaging back and forth about retro computer stuff, as we tend to do, and his friend sent him a Facebook Marketplace listing, and then he in turn sent it to me, and it's what you see here. It's this massive, incredible wall of vintage Apple monitors and computers and boxes and just an incredible amount of stuff for $1,500. And I think we just kind of were looking at it thinking, whoa, imagine being able to do that. Imagine being lucky enough to be able to buy this lot and take it home and just mess with it. But then I noticed the location of the listing, and I realized it was only a couple hours away from me. So I went in a few seconds from, gee, that would be amazing, to I'm doing this. So I made arrangements with the guy, and I ended up talking with him on the phone. He had to drive somewhere in order to get phone reception, because where he lives there just isn't phone reception, so that was pretty goofy. But he was a nice enough guy, and we made arrangements to meet the next day. He said that his partner had collected all of this Apple equipment, that he'd gotten it from schools, but that his partner had died several years ago. He said that when Steve Jobs died, he put everything on eBay, and then he was contacted by a movie studio, which came and actually bought most of it for a movie. But then this, what you saw in the picture, was what was left. So I thought that was a pretty interesting backstory. So anyway, I went to the U-Haul page and I reserved a 10-foot truck. I thought that would probably be enough. But then I looked at the picture again and I thought, that's a lot of stuff. So I went back to U-Haul, canceled the reservation, and got a 15-foot truck. So I figured, as long as I don't crash the thing, because it's a big truck, I'll have enough space for all the equipment at least. So the next day I headed out, and I've done hundreds of these pickups over the last 12 years, usually for more modern MacBooks, not retro stuff. But when I do these trips, I always feel a little bit crazy. Like, what am I doing? I'm driving into the middle of nowhere to spend thousands of dollars on broken stuff that no one else wants. It's just sort of a strange feeling, but there's also an odd sense of elation that comes with it too. Hard to describe. So I got there. Long story short, the guy was really nice. It worked out well. Everything was on shelves coated in this nasty yellow dust. It had obviously been there for many, many years. He used a forklift to get it off the shelves, and then we put it on pallets and took it out to the truck. I'd unload it, then he'd go back in, we'd get more, that sort of thing. It's funny, I paid him with PayPal, and I actually had to drive way out back onto the street to get reception to send the PayPal payment, and then drive all the way back, make sure he got the payment, and then we started. So you can see here what it looked like in the truck. Not exactly a professional packing job, but it worked. Nothing shifted during the drive. I actually rented these blankets you can get from U-Haul. What you're seeing here, there's actually another layer underneath what you're seeing here, so you're only seeing about half of the total lot. Put down blankets, put down a layer of stuff, put blankets on top, and then put what you see here on top of the first layer. So again, probably not the best way to go, but whatever, it worked. So yeah, I got home and unloaded it all into the living room. It's always an awkward thing to do. You kind of hope the neighbors don't see you carrying stacks of computers into your house. It just looks a little odd. But anyway, got everything inside, and here is the breakdown. All right, here we are. Everything all laid out in my living room. And I was up late unloading the U-Haul last night. I'm very sore today. Tried to get them organized a little bit. Spent a lot of time wiping the nasty orange dust off them. That was a little crazy. So I'll just start going through it. So yeah, we have an SE30. One in the middle, I think, is an original Macintosh, probably. Or I think they call them Fat Macs, not sure. Then an SE. Then, we got like 14 Apple IIs. These things are really light. I was shocked. I thought they'd weigh like 40 pounds each, but they're surprisingly light. Got an Apple II owner's manual there, so I can read about how to use them. And yeah, we got a ton of these double disc contraptions. Yeah, just so you know, my Apple II knowledge is very limited. It's dated from high school, actually. Like, I last used them 25 years ago. So if I say anything dumb, please forgive me. And then there are tons of disk drives, surprisingly mostly 3.5 inch, just a few dozen 3.5 inch, I think for the 2GS. But there are a lot of standard 5.25 as well. And I think they're the newer variation, not the ones with the black front. So I don't know what that means in terms of value. I guess it's a good thing. So the Apple IIs, none with the numeric keypad. They're all a little bit, oh, there's one, there's a keypad. So one or two of those. So 7, I think, 2GSs. So there's a tower of 2GSs if you've never seen that. And a couple LCs and an LC2. A friend of mine had one of those in college. And a couple portrait displays. Sort of a unique monitor. Maybe these are worth something. I don't know. But I was happy to see those. And then we just have a sea of monitors, like 30 something, I think. Just lots of monitors. And they're all mostly the same. They're, you can see the nasty dust. Color Monitor 2E, which I assume was the standard Apple II monitor, color monitor, as opposed to the monochrome monitor. I remember these from high school. Has a goofy tilt screen. And there are several others, I think for the 2GS, for some of the other models, so some smaller ones, but for the most part, the same monitor. So over here we have a whole mess of keyboards, bunch of boxes I haven't even attempted to look at yet. Probably more keyboards, mice, cables, power cables, disk drive cables, stuff like that. And then here we have a pile of Macintoshes. So 3 Mac 2s in, various shades of yellow. These suckers are really heavy. Yeah, just very, very heavy. Probably 40 pounds each. It'll be interesting to see what cards are in them. And then we have a Mac 2 CX and a Mac 2 CI. I think these go with the portrait display monitors, if I remember right. And then here we have an Amiga 1000 and a monitor. These aren't part of the lot, they were just in the room. If you'd like to see these unboxed, I did an unboxing video, so just check out my channel. It's really interesting if you haven't seen that. And then we have, last but not least, or actually probably last and least, I hate printers, old printers, we have printers. I think this is the ImageWriter 2. No, that's the ImageWriter 1, and then that's the ImageWriter 2, I think. Sure, that's the ImageWriter 2. I don't know what that is. Probably the ImageWriter 1. But yeah, probably a dozen of the originals, and then 3 or 4 of the 2s. So I don't know who would want a printer in this day and age like these, but I hope they do want them. So yeah, there it all is. And that's pretty much it. But the adventure continues. I need to take them out and clean them up and test them and all of that stuff. And it's been an adventure. I can easily say in my 12 years of refurbishing and doing hundreds of pickups, this is probably in the top 5. Between it being like a true American pickers, rural America experience, to the fact that it's retro, to the fact that it's so much retro and just varying stuff. Yeah, it's definitely in the top 5 I've ever done. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you soon.